4,000, 5,000 kilobytes piling through the kilobytes pipe. 4,700. We're just so many kilobytes. It can't even keep track. Kilobytes up the chuffing the kilobytes down. Right now, there I've come up on the big picture. Chuffing the kilobytes. Can hear myself. Down. Right, there you go. I can hear myself. There you go. Let's pop out the chat. Popped. You got popped. You're gonna get moved as well. I'm gonna move you so that you're the main thing that I see on the window just over there. Just going to shuffle here, shuffle. Doing all this a little bit early, aren't we? Look, just a little bit early, just to make sure it's all working. Make sure it's all working. There it is, it's working. Nice and chill, nice and relaxed. It's Mental Health Monday. I'm not going to do the introduction until 6 minutes elapse. And we get to the ascribed 8 p.m. Mental Health Monday, GMT, Greenwich Mean Time in the UK. I'm in the UK, so 8 p.m. when it's 8 p.m. for me, it's always midnight for me. That's like my catchphrase. It's like my little introduction catchphrase. It's always midnight. But at 8 p.m, it's time for mental health. It's always on Monday, because Monday's the day when you feel, ugh, isn't it? Like another chuffing week. Not this again. And so I thought, what a good opportunity, what a good time to present Mental Health Monday. Give everyone an hour on 8 o'clock after they've had their tea. Of course, it's not like that in the rest of the world, is it? In the world where you are. It's like America or Korea or Australia or somewhere like that. And you're not having your tea. I've got a cup of tea. Got a nice cup of tea there. Nice cup of tea. Hey. Capital K. Keeping us updated on the drag race. Capital K. Nice to see you. Just a little relaxing. We've still got 5 minutes. So got my cup of tea. Nothing's happening yet. Not even going to do the introduction. Not even going to do that for 5 minutes. It's all running perfectly smoothly. I thought I'd need 5 minutes to, do this and that. But, if it's slightly out of sync, it's slightly out of sync. It's all right. How are you doing this week? I was just saying that we do Mental Health Monday on a Monday because it's the worst part of the week, isn't it? But I was also saying that it might not be where you are. It's probably not 8 o'clock tea time. It's probably not 8 o'clock tea time, is it? It's probably like 2 o'clock in the morning or 3 o'clock in the afternoon or 8 o'clock in the morning or something like that. Something really different from where it is here, which at the moment here, there's no sun. You know what? We've had the worst. English people like to talk about the weather. We do, British people. We like to talk about the weather. But look at it, 11:56 a.m. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like 8 p.m. to me. We've had there's no sun for like 6 days. Shouldn't complain. A little bit of rain. It's what the UK is like, isn't it? But shouldn't complain. But we've had no sun. Whereas in other parts of the world, like maybe where you are, you've had so much sun, it's set everything on fire. That's what I heard. In Canada, they've had so much sun, the electricity went off in the sky. Boom, it's all on fire. So it could be worse, couldn't it? If you're in Canada and you're thinking, what's this chuffer? My house has just burned down. This chuffer's just going on like it's nothing. Look, there's Mental Health Monday. Look, Samaritans, you can give them a call. You can't because your phone's burned down. Oh, I shouldn't make a joke out of it. Sorry that your phone burned down. You won't be watching this. You won't be watching this in the hospital, will you? So, look, if you are having a mental health crisis and you've come to Mental Health Monday, I'm going to say this. This is 3 minutes before Mental Health Monday starts, so I shouldn't really say this now. Should I? Should I show you what we're going to do tonight as well? People with the bird phones, they can't even watch, they can't even call up and complain. They can't even call up Twitter to complain, so it doesn't even matter, does it? People without phones. Everyone's got phones. Everyone. That's how you know you're existing, isn't it? Because you've got your own number. These people can contact you on. You want to hear my answer phone message? I should call it up one time and we should listen to it. My answer phone message says, "Hi, you're through to Scott." Just bear in mind, 2 minutes to Mental Health Monday. So if you're tuning in for Mental Health Monday, this is my answer phone message. This isn't a mental health tip. Right? It says, "Hi, you've reached Scott. This is my answer phone. I'm never going to listen to your message, and I'm not going to call you back. So there's no point in leaving one. And it goes, duh, like, because it goes, duh, doesn't it? Like, and then it's up to them whether they want to speak into the void. But I've briefed them. I'm never going to listen to their message, and I'm never going to call them back. Now, if you need to call me so importantly, you've got my number. You could just send me a text with all the important details of why you need to get in touch with me, and then I can vet it and decide if I can call you or not. If you're calling and I answer, hello, that's all sorted, aren't we? But if it goes on to answer phone, I'm not available. I don't want to spend I'm not available because I'm busy or can't take the phone. I don't want to then get to the phone later when I have to go, oh look, 6th message, go and check that. Oh, now I'm doing this. I don't like that interaction. So the only time I'm going to set aside for listening to messages is way beyond time when it matters to reply to them. So I don't even bother. And I've told people, I've said it. So don't leave me a message on my phone. You can talk to me here on stream. Look, you're talking to me now. And yeah, communication's good though, isn't it? Communication's good. What kind of phone number is that? This phone number. I shouldn't joke about this phone number. This is an important phone number. If you're in England, I mean, it might not work in America. You might have to do some sort of area code thing. Or there's other ways you can get in touch. You can send them an email. There might be a service similar to this in America, but I can't go through everyone's international services. 116123 is free. You can dial it in. You just, hello, someone's talking to you at the end. And what are they saying? Well, they're not really saying. They're just there to listen to you. So if you're having a real meltdown, real stress, if it's like, oh, this thing, and it's, if you're actually feeling at a crisis point, like, I'm got no one to turn to and I want to chuck myself off a bridge. Like, if you feel like that, then this is the number to call. You might as well, if you're going to chuck yourself off the bridge, you might as well give this a call. It's not going to, you can still, if you feel bad afterwards, so at least you called it. It's free. It's free. So that's what they do, the Samaritans. It's not just if you're going to chuck yourself. I'm not even joking about chucking yourself off a bridge. Not even joking about it. But yeah, if you see their stickers on bridges, like, for this reason. Like, good place to advertise. So it's a free phone number for people who are. Oh, it's 1 minute past 8. It's 1 minute past 8. Okay, let's do it seriously now. Hi. Let's just go web browser, so it gives us a little continuity break there. So it looks like, and then I'll go big face again. Hi. See how I did that? It worked, didn't it? Look, web browser. That's that. And then I'll big face. It looks like you're doing a transition on a TV show. Hi. Did you like that? I like that. I thought that was good. So we've got the Mental Health Monday. That's what it is today, Monday. Hi, Snips. Hi there. Nice to have you here. We've got the Ganji Puka Warrior crew. If you're interested in becoming a Ganji Puka Warrior crew, mate, then stick around. I'll do all the shilling at the end. No one wants to hear it. So today's Mental Health Monday. I'm going to do the introduction. Hi. I've already sort of done that bit, the hi. I've done the hi. Hi. You're here with Scott. I'm Scott. It's mental. I'm good at this. I shouldn't bumble around this, but I can do this. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1. Hi, you're here with Scott. It's Mental Health Monday. It's midnight. It's always midnight. It's actually 8 p.m. GMT. This is your right ear and your left ear. So there we go. Got it. Got it all in there. Got that. You can edit that. I say you, I mean me. Right. Tonight we've got anxiety support, 5 techniques to help you calm down from panic attack. We've got panic attacks, a really good article in Young Minds, which I really like. We're going to look at that. We've got why breathing into a paper bag works. Honestly, why breathing, look, web browser, breathing into a paper bag, pick your face. I wanted to find out the science, so I had a look at that. How can you stop a panic attack? There are some, like, other people have got other ideas, and panic disorder comes into it. And then there's another really good idea, basically several articles on the same basic topic. But the reason I've got several articles is because this one is 5 tips, and there are like 26 overlapping. Hey, don't you, wait, look, Snips. She knows. She just knows. She just knows. I had to research on the internet, find it. You see, now we're going to talk about that later, but like, she's right, you know. It's not just. We'll get onto that right away. We'll just jump straight in. Let's go web browser and let's move to this point straight away because I need to get to it. So I've read through this. Look, breathe in, paper bag here. Dr. Arrell, right? Dr. Arrell. I'm not dissing Dr. Arrell. Dr. Arrell's written. Here she is. Hello. Look, she's a lady. Dr. Lady. So that's, you know, the future. We're living in equality. She's written this article. It's really good. Like, she hasn't written it all. A journalist has paraphrased the things she says. But it says here that Dr. Arrell says it can be a helpful way to control your breathing. It can prevent you from inhaling too much oxygen. And I thought, oh, does it? I think Dr. Arrell's got it slightly. It kind of does. It kind of does. But Snips is better. Snips knows more. Snips is better. Look, Snips is better. It turns out that it does work, but the way it works and it makes. Oh, I can't highlight. Just trying to get this out now. We're just going to jump, bang this in straight. First thing, Mental Health Monday. Does breathing into a paper bag work? Yes. What actually it does, it makes more CO2 available. So you actually balance out the CO2 in your blood by breathing in more CO2. So I've lost Dr. Chuffin. Dr. Arrell says it was inhaling too much oxygen. She's got it slightly wrong. She's got it right, but slightly wrong. It prevents you from taking too much oxygen, but actually it increases your amount of CO2. So there are ways of saying the same sort of thing. But actually over here, Snips, she's got it right. Snips got it better. Snips is better. So when you're listening to Mental Health Monday today, I'm all animated now. I'm all animated. Where's my big face? I'm wearing my cat hoodie, trying to be calm, and I'm all shouting. I'm all excited because Dr. Arrell's wrong. She's not wrong. She's kind of right. She's on the right track, but Snips is better. So when you're listening to Mental Health Monday today, I want you to bear in mind that chat might be a better source. And I know this is uncommon on Twitch. I know this is uncommon. It's not normal, is it, on Twitch, for chat to be a better source of information than some of the web pages that we may look at. And this is it's uncommon on Twitch, isn't it? It's uncommon. If you're watching Asmongold, chat is not the better source of information than some of the web pages. Maybe it is, maybe some of the people, but the majority are just yapping on about his hair. So look, let's not get too excited. Let's calm down. Let's calm down. One of the points we were going to make today, and it's great we've done it early because we can sort of put this as an overarching little umbrella to think about things in it, is that lots of ideas are going around. I was saying there's 26 on one web page, there's 13 on another. This one's got 5. Some of them overlap. Some of them are great. Some of them are great for certain people. Some of them are great for others. It's a spectrum, and not even the people that write the websites are the most certain, definite. I need to stop speaking so loud and peeking into the red. They're not even the most. And Nigel watches this when he goes to bed, so I'm shouting and he's trying to sleep. Look, even the websites are not the be-all and end-all source of all the information. Together, through what we do, we learn lots of different ideas. We think about lots of different ideas, and it's up to you, if you're suffering with mental health issues, to try and action some of these ideas, to experiment with them, and crossing our fingers. Some of them are really good. Some of these ideas overlap and are consistent, and we're going to see, we like those ideas, and they probably will work. They'll probably be quite good. But it's not a magic wand, and we're not going to be able to just ping everyone's anxiety away. So some of these websites make it seem like that because it kind of like sells well, doesn't it? And in fact, if I make a video out of this, I'll probably do a thumbnail that makes it look like, 5 tips. Do these things, no more anxiety, because that's what's going to make people click. Maybe I won't do it like that, who knows. The way I rumble on, I won't even be able to edit out 5 sentences that make sense. So but yeah, look, that's an interesting point to take everything with a pinch of salt today, to just have that idea. No one's really, we haven't got it all fixed, and it's not right for everyone, but we have got some good ideas. Mental Health Monday, got the old YouTube channel. Look, I got the YouTube channel. Going to start uploading some of the more recent videos to the YouTube channel now that we've got through some of the ones that we did earlier. That's who we are. That's what we're doing. And this is the Samaritans. If you feel at mental health crisis point, what's this guy chaffling on about? In the first 10 minutes of the broadcast, here's the number. If you're in the UK, if you're not in the UK, And I was going to do the mental health news as well, but I've been that off actually, because there is some really interesting news this week about, we've been talking about mental health in schools, and in the UK someone set up a business to try and help mental health in schools, which is quite a progressive step. And it might be that their business is, something that can be the ideas can be the work can be subcontracted to a private company. But in my personal opinion, I don't know if it should be private companies taking up that weight. Maybe the government should be, providing the funds to, fund these organisations within schools. But that's the news. Just did it then anyway. So didn't put the pictures up though, so I can't edit that. Right, let's get on with it. I've done my introduction, 10 minutes of rambling. Here are the 5 tips. Let's see if they're good tips. Breathe through your belly. Big face, switch, web browser. There we go. Breathing through your belly. This is from Stylist magazine. I don't know much about Stylist magazine. I'm not a massive advocate of Stylist magazine. It's just the one that came up top on Google. Top. So they should. There we go. They can subcontract. Well, maybe they should. Or I'll just briefly. Don't want to get into the politics of private companies running public services. I don't think I do here. We're talking about Stylist. They're a private company offering the public good service of talking about mental health tips. So, with that all said, breathe through your belly. Let's do it calmly. The most important thing when it comes to panic attacks is to get your breathing back under control, Dr. Arrell says. It's not only important that you try and slow down your breathing, but that you can control where your breath is centered. The key thing is to make sure you're breathing through your diaphragm or your belly. Breathing through your chest maintains a sense of panic. So place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. I can't touch the mouse now, and breathe through your belly. I did my chest a bit then. It should rise on the inhale and dip back in. I get my tummy should come out and go in. Yeah, okay. It's okay. That's straightforward, isn't it? If you're struggling to centre your breath through, I feel a bit lightheaded now actually after doing all that breathing and talking. I should calm down. Breathe through your nose for a count of 3 and then out for 4. It's important to breathe out for a little bit longer. Okay. Use a paper bag. We just talked about that, didn't we? We just talked about that. It's not just if you're carrying narcotics or... not narcotics, what do you carry? In America, you have your paper bags. We don't even have that in England. Do you know that? We don't even have that. In England, if you want to carry your alcohol in plain sight in public, you just kind of go ahead. But recently, in the last sort of 10 years or so, maybe longer, we've been putting alcohol restriction orders on town centres because of problem drinking. But yeah, you don't have a paper bag system. But you might have one if you're feeling panicked, mightn't you? You won't be drinking because alcohol increases your anxiety, but you may have seen people using a paper bag to control the breathing in films or photos. It's popular, isn't it, for a selfie, the old paper bag selfie, and wondered if this was an effective way to manage anxiety. As we saw, yeah, it manages hyperventilate. Oh, there's no other way of saying that, is there? Hyperventilate. I said it right the first time. Brilliant. Paper bag will stop this and make you feel less panicked overall. So there you go. It does work. We saw the science. We briefly touched on that. It's about carbon dioxide in your blood. Hold ice in your hand. Using other senses can help shock yourself out of a panic attack. And this is one that I worried about. Shocking yourself out of a panic attack. Shocking yourself. It's a nice concept. I get the idea, to sort of snap your attention away. Snap your attention might be a better term. But when your attention is hyper, when you're already hyper vigilant, and when you're worried and things are happening, the extra shock of the cold, apparently it shocks your senses out of the panic attack. But me personally, I'm not sure. I'll have to try it when I'm having a panic attack sometimes. I'm not sure I have access to ice, and I don't know how feeling cold and clammy is going to help. I like to feel warm and comfortable. They're trying to lower the heart rate with the vagus nerve stimulation. Oh, right, okay, well, it does help then. See, I told you. They just say put it in a tea towel and do it until you feel pain and then move on to your other hand, the doctor advises. So I don't know if maybe the doctor's being paraphrased here because, yeah, again, it doesn't, maybe it's not good to give yourself frostbite, but it's not that idea, is it? It's just a bit of shock. And we put ice on the bridge of the nose with high heart rates to stimulate vape. But there you go. So put your ice on the bridge of your nose because Snip said so. I trust Snips. But I was worried about the doctor's advice. Bite into a lemon. Biting into something bitter, like a lemon, is another way to engage your senses, which can help stop your panic attack. And again, like if I'm having a panic attack on a lemon, like it may work, or it may leave me panicked and sour. You could also use another kind of bitter fruit. The key thing is that you get the sensation of biting and the bitter taste in order to engage your senses. So the bitter taste of anxiety cures. It could be tried, it could be worked. We're going to see if it comes up again. It may well do. Hold on to an object with an unusual texture. This is mindfulness, so that's something I'm more comfortable with. Holding something that feels unusual is a great technique if you're on the go, as you can easily keep something rough, scratchy or soft in your bag to have ready if you ever have a sudden panic attack, Dr. Arrell says. I used to hold a little stone, like a little pebble. Please bite into a lemon next time you have a panic attack. So I'll have to get if I want to bite into a lemon next time I have a panic attack, I'm not only going to have to carry around a lemon. Well, that's about it, isn't it? That's all I have to do, is it? Carry around the lemon and my phone to video it and see how it goes. Yeah. Why are you carrying around that lemon? In case I have a panic attack. No further questions. This will engage your... But carrying something rough. I used to carry smooth stone. I used to carry like a pebble off the beach. And it was nice anyway, nice to have and sometimes, look at. But if I was feeling anxious, I could just roll that around in my hands, a bit like someone rubbing their hands when they're anxious. But I could just feel that cold. I suppose it was cold as well, wasn't it? And the texture of the stone, and the mindfulness come to mind. So I did used to like doing that. So I'm tick the box on holding the object. But as I said, things are different. Maybe you prefer to chew on a lemon. It could be tried, couldn't it? Could you imagine as well? Right, could you imagine a situation, that's big face because this is not top tips. Is it top tips? I don't know. Could you imagine a situation where your friend, because we're going to look later at helping someone with a panic attack, if your friend had a panic attack and was anxious about a situation or an event or things happening, and your first port of call was to jaff the lemon in their mouth and chuff the cold water on them. That would, they're not going to be cheerful. Even if the panic attack subsides quickly, then they're maybe not going to be cheerful. Web browser. Try coping visualization. Now this is big. This is big on the internet. A visualization. So before I briefly read over this, what you're thinking. What mentalize it? What? Go away. Visualization over here. This is visualization techniques in sport, the mental roadmap for success. It's old news, but the basic concept is through the use of imagery, pain management, endurance, performance motivation and physical performance can also be enhanced in athletes. Visual techniques should include 5 major senses: touch, hearing, sight, smell and taste, and should consider key aspects of powerful emotion, environment, task and timing. I mean, maybe this is old news for me. You get them to talk to you and distract them. Hugs never hurt. Yeah, see, that helps. Talking to people. Visualization. We're going to talk about this for a second, and we'll come back to helping people in a minute. We're always helping. But visualization in athletics. Maybe it's not old news. Peak face. Maybe it's not old news to everyone, but it's old news to me because I did it for years and years. Original studies took a group of basketball players, and the one group... Hang on, we've got the advertisement on there. You can see the advertisement. I don't want to see the advertisement. Let's just move to our own webpage for a second, off Monday. Anyway, so you had 2 groups, and the one group threw the basketballs in the hoops, and the other group sat there and visualised throwing the basketballs in the hoops perfectly and imagining what it would be like to take the perfect shot. And then they took the basketballs and threw them in the hoops. And the group that did the visualising came out on top more and more. And it turns out, more and more studies over a longer period of time in your athletics, and not just in your athletics, advertisement. Advertisement. What do you say in England? I don't know. Now you confuse me. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Anyway, look, the Mad Men. I should go back to Mad Men and check. The visualization techniques make you do things better. End of, bottom line. And it doesn't matter if it's athletics or driving or something else. If you visualize yourself doing it perfectly in your mind, then when you go to do it, you do it better. It's like a mental process, physical process thing. It's perfect, right? It works. So we do that in athletics. But what they're going to say here is what Dr. Arrow suggests here is, and I thought this was the idea, what Dr. Arrow was going to suggest, because in Google here, look, there's loads of this: visualization, stress busting, visualization and mental rehearsal, mental imagery and visualization, balance your unconscious bias with visualization, stress busting mental performance, visualization. It's loads of it. But what I actually searched for, and you can't see there, and let's go web browser so I can show you, is it good to visualize stressful situations? Szechuan sauce. Where's my Szechuan sauce? Is it good to visualize stressful situations? Because the whole point of the visualization, you can't get an answer to this on Google. Is it good to do that? All of these things are about stress and visualizing yourself in a calm, and like, look, let's just click this one. It's like yoga, how it works, relaxing images, a beach. On my ASMR Shorts channel, I've been uploading some relaxing beach loops. Stress busting. We can look at that at the end. No, we can't look at my channel now. That's one of my channels. Imagine another channel like this, but it's called ASMR Shorts, and it's full of relaxing channel. That's what it is. So yeah, so the visualization is all about calm and relaxing stuff, isn't it? It's all about, like, you know, look at that, under a pile of puppies. Under a pile of puppies. And visualize that, and you feel good. Yeah, you know, they're probably one of them would do a wee, wouldn't it? But anyway, look, that's what it's all about. But it's not here. Try coping visualization. This method involves you imagining yourself in a situation where you've had a panic attack, or you've been in a heightened sense of anxiety in order to stimulate a sense of panic. It's also known as a negative visualization. So to stimulate a sense of panic. They're suggesting here, Doctor, not exactly spot on certain things, but quite good in other areas, being paraphrased by the journalist, is suggesting that you imagine walking through how you would cope in that situation. What will happen in your mind is that it's got a roadmap to follow when you deal with real panic. So yeah, okay, I understand that concept, but this is important. We were going to talk about this later, but we're talking about it now. The problem with this is that when you're anxious, big face, when you're anxious, as we've seen in previous broadcasts, sometimes your anxiety is your mind running away with itself. Sometimes you're building something up to be more than it really is. You can't see my hands waving, but I am talking by waving my hands. You know, sometimes, yeah, you can worry about it all night. We talked about worry time, where you allocate a certain time of day, an hour, half an hour, to do your worrying in, and then you let it go and move on. We talked about the worry tree, where you can follow the different paths of the worry tree. You might want to review that if you didn't know what I'm talking about. I'll bring it up again later and bring up the thing another time. We talked about these, you know, ideas to prevent you from worrying, and what this is basically saying is build up the things in your mind, go over them in your mind. And the problem with it, if you're talking to that standard person, a normie person, like we're all normal, aren't we? And none of us are normal, are we? So you know what I mean. But if you're talking to someone who doesn't deal with anxiety issues in their day-to-day psychological battle, then they may not worry in this same way. They may not let their anxieties run away with them. So they may be able to visualize stressful situations. Like, let's say you're a pilot and you haven't got an anxiety issue and you're good, yeah, and you're a good pilot and you're about to do some advanced piloting. You might want to think about what it's going to be like to be in that stressful situation and which buttons you're going to press and what you're going to do. Fine. But if you're an anxious person in that same situation, that same pilot with the anxiety disorder, not, you know, just the same pilot but with anxiety issues, we'll say, you know, with anxiety, that that same pilot might not just think about the buttons they're going to press, but might think about what happens if you press the button and your finger breaks, and then the thing comes down and I pull in it and the thing comes off, and now I'm really stressed, and I'm sure I had my manual over here, but now my manual's gone, and where's my books, and I need to take this exam tomorrow, and I'm getting, it might build up into something that it doesn't need to be. So I'm not sure that a coping visualization, going back to web browser, as I got quite excited then, I'm not sure a coping visualization is for everyone. And I've certainly sat and run over ideas, concepts in my mind, like things that I've been anxious about, big face. I don't even need to specify anything, but like you said, ruminating overnight. I've certainly lain awake thinking about things that I could be anxious about. What would happen if this happened? What would I do here? How would I do this? And then the thing never fucking happened. It never chuffing happened. So I didn't have to worry about it all that time. I was making myself more anxious than I needed to be. It's a coping visualization is great in a specific example where you're going to be getting on the plane and you feel nervous about it, or you're going to be taking the exam and you're anxious about it, or you're going to be walking a new dog from the dog trust and you feel like, those things that you can actually specify. This could happen, this could happen, this could happen. I'm going to visualize what would I do, keep calm, move on. But it's not so good if you let yourself it never fluffing chuffing up. It's not so good if you let yourself get all worked up over nothing in your own free time. That's not so good. In fact, that's what we're trying to counteract. So Stylist, the most popular article, it's got good ideas, but I worry about you if you're going to action some of these. So be careful with that one. But it's quite a good article. Dr. Meg there. There's Dr. Meg. She's looking like confident, but it's like, this must have been an interesting photo shoot, mustn't it? Interesting photo shoot. Got the nice background there. They've got the they have these backgrounds. These photographers. I've seen them. They've got these backgrounds that are like a slightly textured, slightly nothing. It's like a big roll of paper. They get that down. Like they do these photographs all over the show, don't they? So they got their kit, they get it out. You probably go to their studio, they get the thing, they roll it down. Use this background for a bajillion photos I have. Got it down. There you go. It's a nice background, isn't it? It's just bland. It doesn't. You're taking a picture of you. You don't want to see the background. It's just texture, though, isn't it? It's just nice. Just nice texture. So then they've stood her there, lit her. She had her makeup done. You can see that. In fact, this is a thing that, talking of should I do big face because you can only see the picture small then? But we're doing a bit of a tangent now. Talking of talking of Drag Race, which we weren't, but we were earlier. Me and Capital K. Talking of Drag Race. I watch Glow Up as well. I watch the makeup. It's like Bake Off, but for makeup. So at the end of it, the one who's not done the best makeup every week goes, and at the end of it, there's only one left, and they're the best doing makeup. It's like Bake Off, but makeup, yeah? So one of the things I learned about makeup in Glow Up is that you really, really want your skin tone to flow through. And if your arms and your chest are one colour and your neck up is a different colour, that's a no-no. The top makeup artists are not they don't like that. You get put in the naughty chair. So maybe it's the photo editing, or maybe it's the makeup artistry there, but she does look a bit warm in the face, doesn't she, compared to the rest of her natural skin tone. But she's definitely had her makeup done because she's doing a photo shoot. So, that's nice. And then done the hair, and then she stood there, and he said, could be a she, couldn't it? Could be anyone. Could be a they. They is a better word, isn't it? They is a better word. See, I picked myself up on this. They is a better word because I don't know. So why would I just assume? So they is a better word. And what the photographer, have done, right? He hasn't got credits on this photo, so I don't know who's took it. Maybe she's just into photography. Maybe she's a self-portrait artist. She could have done this herself. She's very capable person. What they have done, and there's a little dot there in the middle, a little dot there. She's probably wearing a little bit of jewellery that's pinged the flash. But maybe that's, just little. It looks like a dead pixel to me. So maybe that doesn't help. But yeah, what they've done then is they've said, right, don't look. This is the bit I was trying to get to. Big face. If I chat on like this, we're never going to get all the tips done. Right, don't look too confident. because you don't want to look like aggressive and mean. Like the tips are coming out now for how to have yourself portrait. I'm sure the necklace is very nice in Dead Pixel necklace. I'm sure it's very nice in real life, but just the way the camera's picked it up, that little ping, it's picked it up. It might even be a Dead Pixel in the camera, who knows? But they've said, look, don't look too. No, they'd have covered it. They'd have gone over it with the Photoshop, wouldn't they? At the end, I don't know. Maybe it's a micro dot that contains information. Look, anyway, look. They've said don't look too mean. Don't look too stern. You want to be happy and smiley, and then she's done a few like that with a big smile, and they've gone, oh, not it looks nice, but just maybe like take that down a step, just half smile, and like they've gone for the jaunty half cock half smile here, haven't they? Look, the jaunty half smile. So she does appear friendly and warm, but she's not. She's got her arms crossed, folded here. That's quite a strong position, isn't it? Gone for a bit of strength, and then there's a bit of a lean on, isn't there? A bit of a tilt on. So it's jaunty, but strong, confident. Face on, straight on. Little cheeky half-cocked smile there. Half-cocked. So that's the one they've gone for. They've probably done quite a few. They've probably gone for the big smile, the open body posture, pointing. Probably done a couple of pointing. They're useful, aren't they, for your website? For everyone that doesn't know, beat my face means do my makeup. Right, yeah, because I did just gloss over that one. I'm glad it means something nice and not something horrid. Do my makeup. I tell you what, my sister is a makeup artist, and one of the ideas I've had for stream is that I just get her to do my makeup for a stream, and I'll just do a stream in full RuPaul. But I've got a beard, so I don't know how that works. Some of them have got beards, haven't they? Some of them managed to blend the makeup with the beard. So, I'm not that skilled. Maybe she is. I don't know. But it might just be interesting. I'd like to try it out. Anyway, look, we're going back to we are on the web browser. That was Stylist Magazine, and that was who was talking to us in Stylist Magazine. They were the tips from Stylist Magazine. Are they going to be consistent? This is Young Minds. Okay, what have we done? Half an hour. Good. We're on to Young Minds. First half hour, load of chuff. onto Young Minds. Beards work, but do they work with makeup though? Because how do you paint around the beard? Like how do you get the makeup in between? Because here on my beard, you need the makeup there, but it's going to get on the beard. It baffles me. I'm not having it waxed. Right, Panic Attacks. This is Young Minds. Young Minds is a good website. It's like Mind, but for young people, and we're all young people inside, aren't we? We're all scared and overwhelmed. So, what is a panic attack? Well, briefly, because we're looking at tips now to help you deal with the panic attacks when you're actually having one today. So I'm taking it for granted that you know what they are, because you're here to listen to the tips. But quickly, you feel out of breath. We've talked about these before as well. You feel lightheaded. Light's more intense. Your heart beating fast. You sweat more than usual. You feel shaky. You've got wobbly legs. Pains in your chest. So this is where people think, oh my days, I'm having a chuffing heart attack. And where Scott's top tips, big face. Maybe Snips can confirm this is a bad tip. Maybe that she can confirm this is a bad tip. But if I feel like I'm having a panic attack and I worry it's a heart attack, I run upstairs and downstairs, because if I was having a heart attack, I wouldn't be able to do that. I'd be toppling over, chuffing me. So it makes me feel right. I'm having a panic attack because heart attack people don't run up and downstairs. So I do that. Maybe it's a bad tip. Maybe you want to get yourself one of those Fitbits. It's not going to help you slow your heart rate. No, it doesn't. It doesn't help me. But it's not a good tip, is it? It's not a good tip. That was Scott's bad tips. We'll move away from Scott bad tips. If you're having a panic attack, you might be teary or feel like you can't stop crying. That's interesting, isn't it? An emotional response. You might feel stuck, like you can't move. You might have stomach cramps and feel sick. So I've just banged those out quickly because we've talked about these sort of things before, but I'm not glossing over them. They're all really serious, and they're all there available to be looked at and talked about here on Young Minds. It feels like a sudden bubbling up of heightened anxiety to the point where your physicality changes completely, Martina says, and that's a really good way of phrasing it, so I like that. Why might I have a panic attack? See, we should come on to this at the end, really. Why? because I was going to say what you're going to do while you're having them, and there's going to be another tip, and then we'll talk about why later. So they put it there before, but what you're going to do if you're having one. Let's see how many of these tips line up. Okay, I've only got premium bad tips. I've got good tips. I've got Scott's top tips. I've got top tips, but some of them are naughty boy tips. Some of them are just like MacGyver, fix it with a bit of chewing gum and gaffer tape tips. You know, some of them are I managed to make it work by unplugging it and plugging it in again tips. So mainly the good tips we'll focus on. This is Young Minds, and their top tip is concentrate on your breathing. So it comes up again. Concentrate on your breathing. They don't mention the belly breathing, the tummy breathing that the doctor mentioned, but it's this focusing, this breathing, counting, breathing techniques, mindfulness, meditation is a good path to learning these techniques. All good in the hood. Breathing, we're putting a big tick in the box. How do you help yourself when you're having a panic attack? Then breathing is on the top of this list. It's on the top of this list. Why breathing helps, the paper bag, we've looked at that, so I can bin that off. This is another list. This is just completely boom. Look, medical news today. Medical, here, extra, find out what's happening in the hospital today. Extra, ambulance is on special offer. Extra, read all about it. COVID killing billions. Sorry, the last one wasn't a joke, was it? How can you stop a panic attack, though? Snips. Wow, this is the first time in my life that I've tried to multitask between two things there. Didn't work. My brain just went, ugh. If I lived with the person who have them wake me up so I'd help them acknowledge they were feeling and refocus them towards getting through it, breathing, having someone with you probably does help, doesn't it? If you're on your own, you feel on your own when you're having an anxiety attack as well. So I guess that is a really good point, that they are not, this one here, this how to stop a panic attack, and scrolling down, they've got 13 ways. Do you see what I mean? 13. It's all going off it now. Look, walking in the woods. Are they walking in the woods because that's curing them, or is that where they're feeling most scared of the bears? I don't know, but look, 1, remember it'll pass. 2, take deep breaths. So they're on the breathing as well. So we think the breathing's good, but I'm going to go with snips here. A reminder it's temporary, have someone help you through it. Talking to someone else should maybe be right up there on the top. Right up there on the top. Big face. I've actually noticed the situations where I have, like, my worst fear is, what's my worst fear? Let's list all my worst fears. That's going to make me feel better. You see? So, but not one of my worst. One of my fears is that I will have some sort of anxiety event whilst I'm driving and in control of the car, and that I will crash the car, cause someone to be hurty, and it'll be my fault, and that'll be bad. And while you're controlling the car, your anxiety because things are happening, the hyper-vigilance again of me having to focus on this person driving there and that thing there and that, and the dog's chuffing and this and that, and trying to change the radio, not trying to change the radio, I can't even bother to just concentrate on the driving, all that stuff. I'm already set quite high, I find, with driving. And the times where I'm on my own and driving, I'm feeling anxious. I'm like, I'm having these anxious, I'm worried about it. Now I'm worried that I'm going to have the anxiety event. So now it's doubled, it's like a multiplier. But when I'm with someone else, if someone's in the passenger seat and they're talking to me, not even about anxiety, just talking to me, and my mind is focused less on all the anxieties and more on just the normal day-to-day mundane conversations that you might have with someone, then I don't end up getting all anxious as much. So that's one top tip. Even if Scott's top tips, it's actually Snips's top tips. My mum used to have them and her partner used to have them. They 100% of the time thought they were having a heart attack. Yeah, like having the heart attack. The one tip I've got for that, actually, Scott's top tips for that, is I got one of those watches I was bought very generously at Christmas time. I'm not wearing it because I'm an idiot about charging it. I'm not very good at charging it, and I don't want to get it broken and dirty and muddy in the fields because it's been quite bad weather. But look, that's got a heart monitor on it and stuff. And you now in the modern world, I've got more, I suppose, because loads of people are anxious about heart problems, because there's loads of heart problems, they've got more and more facilities to keep in check. If you're worried about heart attacks, fine, good, get your heart checked, live healthy, eat vegan, do what you can, do all the good things, and, exercise and monitor your heart, that's actually good for you to monitor your heart while you're doing your exercise, isn't it? So all good in the hood. There's lots of things out there, and then when it comes to the panic attack moments, you'll have said, oh, I've done all these other things, so my heart monitor is still beeping. I'm not having, I'm feeling all these things, but my heart monitor is, I'm not on the floor. So there's some, but the other people, having someone else to help you, it must be probably the best thing. Probably. Some people, maybe, some changes. Some people are not going to be the best people in a panic. Some people may escalate your panic, may amplify your panic. Try and learn who are the good ones to have around when you're panicking. Maybe give them a call. Maybe say, I'm going to be going to do this thing. Can you come with me? Because I find it particularly anxiety inducing, and I find you particularly calming. So there's some tips. There's some top tips. Web browser. Going back to young minds, find a safe space. So this is a new tip, brand new tip out of nowhere. These tips today, they're coming in out of left field all over. Find a safe space. If a situation is making you feel panicked, try and find a safe space where you can take a moment to breathe and calm your thoughts. And I think this is a really good tip on young minds. And look, a really good point before we get off that. Yeah, it doesn't make someone a bad person if they're not good in a panic. It doesn't. That's true. It doesn't make them a bad person. It just means they haven't learned how to best behave in a panic, and that's what we're dealing with here, isn't it? So we're going to get onto those tips, and maybe they can learn them. Finding a safe space, though. Look, it also says if you can't physically go to a safe space, try visualizing yourself somewhere where you feel calm. So that's that visualization again, but they're slightly different. Finding a safe space, it's not always possible. I agree, agreed. But even just taking yourself out of the situation, it's not. Maybe I should say this now. We looked at this. That's the visualization. Panic disorders. I thought I had a window for this. Okay, I haven't got a window for it. I'm just going to say it with my brain. I wonder if it's good or bad to. We talked. Oh, that's why I went to the visualization then. Big face. We talked earlier about visualization, whether it's good or bad to visualize things that make you anxious, to visualize the things that are going to cause you to feel panicked before you feel panic, to try and deal with that, to try and action out some plans of what I'm going to do when I feel anxious, what I'm going to do if this happens, that sort of stuff. We talked about that. And this is saying about going to a safe space. The negatives of the visualization, where you don't have to feel panicked in, things that aren't really happening, maybe your mind's getting away from you. The negatives of going to a safe space are that you're not dealing with things that are making you anxious. It is a good tip because you're removing yourself, so you're calming yourself. The picturing, the visualization is fine because you're still in the situation and you're doing something to deal with it. But physically removing yourself, that ends up becoming like I don't want to say it's like taking drugs or drinking or whatever, like an emotional support, substance abuse, but it's an easy way out that doesn't fix the problem, doesn't deal with the fact that you're going through the problem. So it just means that there are some places you can't go. So it doesn't, I don't know if that's the best, like, long-term problem solver there. I don't know if it's the best long term. Hi, Ella Devotee. Hi, nice to see we're broadcasting across the world again. Nice to see we're broadcasting across the world. Hope you're having a good 2 o'clock in the morning. We're going through some anxiety tips to how to deal with a panic attack when it's happening. This tip, find a safe space. So I agree, in the short term, stepping out from, if you're in a busy, like, let's say you're in muck chuffing, this is for young people, so I've chosen muck chuffing Donald's, and all the noises are going off and all the things out, and you just suddenly start feeling like this anxiety, and you don't want the chuff burger, and you just want to, I think it might be okay to go out and go and stand in the park or nature, or Snips here suggested in closed space or wide open, whatever you feel best. If you want to lock yourself in the toilet, maybe it's okay to just say, I need the toilet, and it says it here actually, or not here, maybe in a different one. Oh, look, yeah, it's down there. That's where I got it from. It's down there on the bottom. You can say, I just popped to the loo. Whatever you feel comfortable with, removing yourself from the situation, yes. Giving yourself time to gather yourself, yes. But every time, consistent, running away from the things that make you anxious, no. Personally, I'm cracking, you can't see me doing it, I'm doing this, subconsciously cracking my knuckles here, ready for fighting. Personally, I do believe I've been taught, I've been forced to, and I voluntarily faced down the things that I felt worried about, afraid of. There were times in my life where I really didn't, where I've tried to turn away from them. There were times in my life where I needed to turn away from them to gather the time, in the way we said about removing yourself from situations. I'm not advocating you fight people and punch people and lash out. Obviously, I think it's a good idea if things are building up that you can remove yourself to release that pressure. But I think in terms of facing down your anxieties, your worries, the things that you're, building up these demons, I think conquering them head on does work sometimes. And I think it gives you strength to know that once you've done that, even if it's on a small, we go from small things to bigger things to better things. That's a Terry Venables saying, that is. Small things to bigger things to better things. So we're only going to try and conquer the small things initially. And as we do that, we're going to learn to do it. We're going to get better at doing it and conquer some bigger things, so you're going to feel strength from that. It's going to push you on to be able to do it more. It's going to be a new feeling that you're going to flourish in, and you're not going to get to do that if you don't face something down. If you don't ever grab the nettle, if you don't ever pick up the sword, you're not ever. I'm saying, so I'm not saying like I'm tough. I'm not. I am tough, but I was taught to be tough through. We're all weak. We're all okay. I like this one. We're fragile and strong. Like this cup's a good example. It's like, if I smash you in the face with it, that's really rock hard, isn't it? It's so rock hard I can drink my drinks out of it and keep it in my cupboard. It's tough. It's a tough cup. But if I smash it against the wall, it's still fragile and it'll still smash into a million pieces. And like, as humans, we have both these qualities, don't we? We can be as rock solid as armour, but still inside we've got that soft. Soft. You can smash the armour. I don't know. The soft bit can absorb the blows. Maybe. Analogies are funny. But yeah, being tough. Like, everyone human has this. Like, the reason that we're here and we're not all wiped out by bad people who wanted to, do bad things in wars and stuff. Our ancestors were tough, weren't they? Like, your granddad was tough. Like, these people went through so much. We've all been through the COVID. We're all tough. But what I'm saying is, you have to sometimes pull up your sleeves and be tough and go at it, because just turning away from everything that makes you anxious all the time doesn't lead to a fulfilling solution to your anxiety. But all in balance, all in balance. Focus on your senses and surroundings is the next one. Web browser. I've got that. That's a new catchphrase of mine as well. I like saying it. Web browser. When you're having a panic attack, I bet you'll say that now when you open up your web browser. You'll be like, web browser, browser, like combo. But it's just a browser. So look, when you're having a panic attack, you can feel out of touch with things around you. One way you can feel back in touch with your surroundings is by picking out 5 things you can, and this is a concept that comes up. They've gone for 5 things. I've heard of the 3-3-3. There's a 5-4-2. It's like football formations. It doesn't matter how many things. You choose how many things. You make your list. You stick to your list. If you like 5, you have 5. If it's your lucky number to have 7, you have 7. But you pick out things you can see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. And it's called a grounding exercise. So it's basically mindfulness again. You can pick a couple for each sense. That was the 3-3-3. It's 3 things you hear, 3 things you can see, 3 things you can something else smell. You might not be able to smell 3 things. You might have to go in your pockets and see if you've got anything that you can smell. Look, that's even one of the tips. I have looked at these and it's got really confusing for me because there are so many that we're looking at. Avoid panic attacks, take deep breaths, this one. One of the tips is lavender focus on an object. Look, this one's got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 method. 5 objects, 4 sounds, 3 objects. So they're into it. Do some light exercise, muscle relaxation. Picture your happy place. Take prescribed medications. Tell someone. That should be at the top. It's like Family Fortunes, isn't it? Do you have that in America? Big face. I bet you do, don't you? I bet you do. I bet you have it. What do you have? Family Feud, Family something. It's like, okay, I'll tell you what the game show is, and I bet you've got it. You have 2 teams, and they're both a family, right? And in the middle is a big board, and so we asked 100 people to name 100 things that they can smell, and then they go on that. I bang the table. Don't bang the table. Nigel's trying to sleep, right? Like I bang the table, and what am I saying? Yeah, I need to be quick. So the other person's got that one. What? Something you can smell. Oh, I can smell my finger. Oh, they have a laugh. And then it's Family Feud, is it? Family Feud. And then, you got the answers, and they go through what do you think the next answer is? Something you can smell. My husband. And then they do the answers. And then you can steal. You can play or you can steal. Play or pass, steal. They do that. I should do Englishman reacts. You guys are going to have to think, guys, you guys, that's the patriarchy. You Ganji Puka warriors are going to have to think of things that an Englishman should react to. American things that I'm going to be like blown away. And we'll do another episode. I'll just quickly, in the middle of Mental Health Monday, I'll just quickly show you what it is, that why there's that American reacts to. I don't put UK drill because UK drill is. I'm not really into drill. These Americans here, they're reacting to football chants. Right now, I go to the football and I like the chants, so I understand all that. So I don't need to react to them, and I see why they're reacting to them because it's funny. We can do an episode talking about it. But right, you've got bummer stickers, state fair food, and large billboard adverts. But I need videos like this on the internet. That I can. They've got top football chants and they watch it, and they're all watching the same video, top football chants. And they're all going, oh, isn't it strange what the English people do? And I want to do the other thing, the other way around. I want to do Englishman reacts to American. So you put your video select choices. You can't put them in the chat because I block all links. Send them on an email. I don't know. Just have it in your back of your mind. Have it in your back of your mind. We're not doing it today. Have it in your back of your mind. Right, so Family Feud, Family Feud, I don't know what we're talking about. Web browser, that's Mental Health Monday for you. Panic attacks, it's called grounding. You can pick a couple of senses or focus on one sense, like finding 5 things you can see. So that's a mindfulness, we like it. We're going to tick that. Do mindfulness, do the breathing. It's acceptable to step out of the situation a bit. Got those. Oh yeah, the top one was talk to people. Talk to people, wasn't it? Talk to people. But that's it from here. That's Young Minds. They're giving you they haven't gone for 13. They've gone for the real nailed on. But they haven't said talk to somebody, which is strange, isn't it? Strange. After you've had a panic attack, you might want to soothe yourself, chill out, relax. You feel it's like, I shouldn't gloss over this, but I'm going to. It's like an emotional event, so you're going to feel drained. So give yourself some comfort time afterwards is basically what they're saying there. And there's a list of things that you like doing, like eating pizza and watching the movies. So do them. How to cope with panic attacks. How to cope with them. See, coping with them suggests that you're just going to still live with them all the time, aren't you? I have panic attacks and I'm just going to find a way of dealing with them. I would ask probably a different question, which is how do we eradicate them? So this is going back up. We had it somewhere up here. Why I might have one. So this is, what you got to do is you got to get to the nucleus. I mentioned coal rolling. See, I don't even know what coal rolling is still. Look, I might have a panic attack. I couldn't find it on Google. It just, when you search from the UK perspective, all you get is stuff about minors, and I don't mean young people. A panic attack could happen at any time. It's a difficult situation making you anxious, or a frightening experience, maybe past abuse, neglect, feeling stressed about things, can build up, work, friendships, relationships, bereavement, grief, losing a friend or family member, being bullied, awful, yeah, absolutely make you anxious. So young people, this is young minds, anxiety around school, college or university. So there's all these concepts that could be adding to it, but this is one that's difficult for us direct here. You know, me talking to everyone in the world, this is the thing that you're anxious about. I don't know what exactly it is, but you do. You do, and it's about looking into that, working out, maybe talking to someone, maybe someone professional, maybe a counsellor, because panic disorder, this is the next. See how, I tell you what, move that up there so you don't see the COVID warning and making you more anxious. See how sharp I am now, look. Panic disorder, I've got my little thing. I haven't got a script properly for this. I had notes on the phone. I've got my phone down there. I haven't even opened it. Panic disorder, I knew this was coming. Looked at it earlier. This is something that I wanted to raise as an issue. I wanted to point this out. Trying to be a bit more concise and tight in today's episode. We've already done all the jambling and rambling. I've already done loads of chuffing rambling. Being in an abusive relationship or work environment. Yeah, I agree with that. Add that to the list here. Being in an abusive relationship or work environment. I'll tell you, I do it, big face. Because I'm feeling better now, a bit. But I had a chuffing weekend of it. Someone did a shout on me. Someone did a shout at me over something minor that... like the context is that it doesn't need to be an argument. It's not even something... I wasn't really arguing. I was having a conversation, and they were getting chuffing. Oh, my tummy's rumbling. Oh, no. They were getting chuffing wound up, and it was them in their world and their chuff that got them all chuffed up. But they did the bad shout at me, and they got cross, and you know. So it made me feel bad. I'm only just going to breathe. I don't want to give like details and let other people feel bad and go over things. But anyway, so it made me feel bad. So then that was me feeling bad then. So Sunday, I should have felt good. England won the football. We're in the next round. I'm not even going to talk too much about that in case I jinx it. But Sunday wasn't just my normal Sunday. My normal Sunday, I do have sometimes... Oh God! Now we're opening up the books, aren't we? Normal Sunday, I do sometimes have a little bit of a cry on Sunday. Well, recently, you know, because my nan's died, because my dog, I had to put him down, because we've had the COVID, because we've had all these difficult times. I felt down. You know, I felt it. We know I'm on Mental Health Monday talking about it. So sometimes on a Sunday, I like to, like worry time. I like to have a little bit of a sad time, like to think about Navin, like to think about Nan, like to maybe put on a song, sometimes have a little bit of a cry. And then at the end of it, at the end of the song, at the end of the time, I say, right, that's the end of that. Now we're putting on Eka Mouse reggae and we're having fun. And, you know, we've changed the mood now. A little bit of reflection, a little bit of time for grieving, and then, you know, move on. So I do that deliberately. You know, I feel it, so I do it, is the best way of saying it. And you don't want to do that all week, all the time, do you? You don't always want to be like grieving. You know, it's part of a process, isn't it? So I'd pencil in my process time. Sometimes it comes out when it needs to come out, but, you know, I'd pencil it in for that. But this Sunday I had to pencil in mental health. You know, we talked about it, didn't we? We talked about resilience. Talked about teaching resilience. Talked about learning resilience. But I had to personally pencil in. Didn't have to pencil it in. I just felt it. You know, this Sunday I feel, you know, X, Y, Z, and how do we work out how to feel better? We've done a load of tips. Look at last week's episode. Having an empty rumbly tummy is not one of the tips, and if you hear it, then I really, really apologise. The only solution is for me to eat loads of food, but I don't have loads of food available to me right here. I've got a little bit of chocolate. The cake's in the fridge. A little bit of chocolate. It won't be enough. We're trying. That's nice chocolate, that is. 85% cocoa. That's from Aldi. In the UK, right, Mental Health Monday is going to be on pause for a minute. In the UK, because we've come to the top of the hour now, I can have a little break, a little bit of chocolate, and a little bit to tell you about our supermarket situation. If you are in the UK, you'll love this bit, so listen up. In the UK, we've got a supermarket situation. We've got different supermarkets. You've got different supermarkets. You know what I'm talking about. One of them come on the scene a few years ago, the newcomer, Aldi. It's like a wholesaler. It's different. I'll say how it's different. At the end, when you do the checkout, Oh, I can't even remember. There's something different about it. I think you have to do the things yourself. Well, that's normal now in the other supermarket, isn't it? It's different. They don't stock the shelves differently. They just put the whole set, and you have to get it. I'll tell you what's different about it is it's all foreign. It seems to be foreign. It's not foreign anymore. A lot of it's British. You have Aldi, right? Is the concept same in America though? Because in England, when they opened, it wasn't products that I recognised. It wasn't things that I knew. It was like some, like Liebenschnatz. I don't even know if that's real German. I'm not being rude about Germans. Hiya, Germany. Sorry you're not still in the football. Sorry you're not still in the football. Mental Health Monday, I'll make you feel better about that. England beat them, didn't we? 2-0. 2-0, 2-0 down. Das German town. Yeah, so it's all, like in England, all the goods in Aldi are like German or European, and they're different anyway. They're not the usual things that we would normally have. And I imagine that there's an Aldi in Germany with all British food that they're not used to. But the concept is they buy it in big bulk and so anyway, yeah, Aldi. This is Aldi chocolate, and in the UK, Aldi's considered to be like the lower end of the. Like you have this supermarket scale. I always find it a joke, an absolute joke. There's the big supermarkets that you're used to, like you probably have Kmart or I don't know, whatever, like Walmart or the main ones. They're not considered to be the premium brand. You know, they're not considered to be the posh supermarket. They're just the normal supermarket where all of us scrubbers go, where all of us normal people go. It's dark. Yeah, this is 80%. It's 80%, 85% cocoa, and only the rest of it is cocoa solids and like, you know, there's no milk in that. There's none. It's cheap. They don't even afford milk. They're just 85% cocoa and probably 15% dog waste. Look, anyway, dog waste wouldn't be vegan, would it? Look, the point being that this is really nice chocolate, and Aldi's at the lower end. It's even lower than the normal supermarket that normal people go in. It goes underneath there, where us scrubbers, I don't know, you're not a scrubber, I am. You know, where us poor people go. Like, so, that's really nice chocolate from the lower end. And I'll tell you a funny thing. At the top end, this is the joke, right? At the top end, we've got another supermarket called Waitrose. And Waitrose is for all the posh people. And you know it's posh because everything's more expensive. The aisles are bigger. The people are nicer. Not the people that shop there. The people that shop there think they're better than other people. So they think they're nicer. But actually, they're not nicer. They're not. They're not. I've been there. I've seen them. They're not. They may have slightly better manners in some aspects, but they're not nicer deep down. They're not, you know, better people because they can afford better stuff. And it's not even better stuff. This is the joke, right? This is the joke. It's all dark chocolate vegan, maybe not, but, you know, the joke here, right? The joke, right, is that Waitrose isn't specially. I don't know if Whole Foods is the same. It might be as Waitrose, but Waitrose isn't specially eat natural. It's not especially vegan. It's just like high end. So you get chips in Tesco, and they cost like chips in Walmart cost like $1. Chips in Waitrose are like hand cut, sun fried, glory be to God chips, and they cost $2. And they're the same flipping chips. This is the joke of it, is they're the same flipping chips. They're the same chuffing chips. I went into detail. This was before I was vegan, when I was eating fish, and I went into detail about which farms caught the fish and supplied the place, and I found out that the fish that you pay extra money for in Waitrose, the fish that you spend more money on in Waitrose is caught from the same farm, is delivered by the same lorry, is part of the same order as the fish that you get cheaper in Tesco's. It's the same fish. It's just they've got a nicer wrapper and you pay more because the shop's nicer and you feel better about yourself. So yeah, it's a scam in a way. But actually these people, I bet half of them, they know it. I bet they know it and they don't care. They just like having like this badge that says, I spent more money than you. It's weird, isn't it? Yeah, anyway, that's the supermarket system, and I'm eating the bog standard chocolate. The 85%, yummy, yummy. It stopped my tummy rumbling. It's really good. Really good. Nicely wrapped fish. Wouldn't eat it. I'll put it back in the sea now. But back then I'd eat it. I'll even let you into a secret. Sometimes during my veganism, I've eaten some things that have had fish. Yeah. Because at the end of the spectrum, it's not the worst thing in the world if, you know, sometimes you're not entirely able to follow your strict dietary, you know. It's okay. It's okay. Doing your best. Process. It's a process. Like if I came round your house for Christmas dinner right? And all that was available, like if your traditional meal was fish, and that was all that was available, fish and sprouts, I'd possibly have some fish. I don't know. Yeah, that sounds really bad as a vegan to say that, doesn't it? Maybe I should be more brutal about it. Have been more brutal about it in the past. It's entirely possible I just eat the sprouts. It's how I feel on the day. It's who I'm setting an example to, and what's been done to provide the. But I'm not going to be rude to people and say, oh, yeah. If they wouldn't understand, maybe I'd have to, my be polite. Well, it's not about this. It's not about this. Yeah, I should be more militant, shouldn't I? But you can't always. Well, what I'm saying is, I'm trying to be nice to the people who are transitioning as well, because you don't have to always be militant. You can just transition gently. It doesn't have to be a switch on and off. And if you're in a situation where someone's buttered your burger bun and it's a veggie burger, and you're like, oh, I can't throw that away, or should I just eat it? Just eat it. It's okay. It's not going to, it's not going to tarnish you inside. Now that you're vegan, you've eaten some butter, and now you can't be vegan. It's just, come on. They might be rude by making you eat it to make them feel better. Yeah, they might not be trying to, being. This is just me. We should be big facing this, because this isn't tips to help you not be panicked. Just part of my, politeness. It may be part of being British. Is they might not even care, but I would have already factored in that I'm assuming they care, and I'm not going to offend them just in case. Just in case, that sort of stuff. But like I'm saying, each situation on its merits. It's okay, but obviously I'm not going to go in the supermarket and start loading up my trolley on non-vegan goods because I don't care. That's not how it works. It's not, is it? So, excuse me. Right then, WebBubba browser. Let's finish these off. By knowing your triggers, you can start to think about what to do in situations. We kind of finished that off, didn't we? It's starting to get hot now. Oh, it's hot in here. What to do if you're having a panic attack. We've done that. Medical journal, right, let's bin that one off. That was Young Minds. We looked at it, so I can keep in order here. Medical, that was what I was going to say. Panic disorder, that's what I was going to I was saying how sharp I was this week. Wasn't I saying how sharp I was this week? And we got to panic disorder. So, big news. If you're having regular panic attacks, if you're watching this and you're looking for... if you're watching this, and I'm going to try to go into presenter mode then for the edit. If you're watching this and you're having regular panic attacks, and you're looking for ways to solve this, ways to calm down while you're having a panic attack, it might be that there's a bigger problem. It might not just be the little things that are making you anxious and dealing with them head on, like we said earlier. Maybe you have panicky disorder. Can't even say that properly. But it's an actual doctor's thing. Look, panic disorder is an anxiety disorder where you regularly have sudden attacks of panic or fear. Everyone expresses feelings of anxiety and panic at certain times. It's a natural response to stress. But someone with panic disorder has feelings of anxiety, stress and panic regularly and at any time for no apparent reason. That actually sounds like me. Symptoms of a panic disorder, obviously, I don't like saying obviously, include anxiety. You may start to avoid certain situations because you feel they'll trigger another attack. So earlier, one of the ideas on how to calm down was to avoid situations, but that might be the symptom of a panic disorder. And it can create a cycle of living in fear. Fear of fear. Like I said earlier, I'm worried about having a panic attack while I'm driving. So that worry is creating the panic attack. Panic attacks, that's what we're talking about today. And when to get help and treatments here, they're not going to say just use breathing. They're not going to, because this is the NHS, the National Health Service. This is the doctors, essentially, the doctors, right? They're not going to say just use breathing. They're good tips. Everything we've done today is good tips. Look, Snips has picked up on one of the medical words there, beta blocker. Look, they've got, where was it? It must have been down here, medicine maybe. Look, they've got all these big words, SSRIs, pregabalin. I'm not gonna prescribe medicine on the internet. I'm not going to suggest you need medicine on the internet. But the doctors obviously think carefully about these things, and it might be that if you're having a panic disorder, then the doctors got more serious. They've also talking about talking therapies, so that's important, psychological therapies, but they've got a whole range of things, and they take it very seriously. So if you go to a doctor and say, I'm having panic attacks, they're not going to say, well, have you tried breathing in and out? Now chuff off. That's not what the doctor's going to do. That's not what the doctor's going to do. What they're going to do is they're going to say, that's serious. Tell me about it. Why don't you take these tablets, maybe? The good ones that I've thought just right for you. Maybe if you don't want to take them after a week, you just don't take them. I don't know. Maybe not that. Maybe remove yourself from the... That's a good point. If you're in a situation that is making you anxious, that you can actually remove yourself from, that you shouldn't have to suffer being in, we should do a note here, don't we? Put this in the edit, move it earlier. But if it's a situation you really shouldn't be in, that is making you feel bad, then you can remove yourself from it permanently in a good way, not in a negative. That's what suicide is. Removing yourself from a stressful situation permanently in what seems to be an easy way. It's not a good way. Don't do that. Don't do the suicide way. Samaritans, look, do the other good way of changing your life for the better. That's the way we do it. Because once you're gone, you're gone. You can't come back, and it's not a good idea. Might as well fight it out. You might as well battle it out another day. You've done 10 minutes. You've listened to me for an hour, chuffling on. So you can do another hour. And if it's hour by hour, we'll get through it that way. I've lost my page. But yeah, the doctors are going to take it really seriously. They're going to take it seriously, and they're going to help you to deal with it. We're going to help you to deal with it. It's something that could be more serious than just panic attacks. You have panic attacks. Oh, stop panicking. She's such a worrier. Oh, he's such a chuffer. Panic disorder. Possible. I'm not going to make you worry too much on the internet now. I'm not going to say, the doctors would have you get you in the hospital. They would. That's not what I'm trying to do. Just saying that there are serious consequences of letting anxiety get out of control. Good, we looked at that. Turn that off. It's making me worry. How to avoid panic attacks. This is a WikiHow. A WikiHow? Look, they're all pictures. Wiki pictures. Their first one is getting help, contact your doctor. Talk to someone. We like that. We said there were different tips. Consider psychological treatment. Fair enough, we like that. Join a support group. That's a tip that hasn't come up, isn't it? That's a tip that hasn't come up. We're just doing the fun tips now. We're through. We're through to the final stages. I was going to talk about visualization more. We did that earlier, didn't we? So I can bin that off. The visualization techniques of athletes, we can bin that off. This is our final foray. Let's see how many of these tips we recognise. Oh yeah, I was supposed to say join the Puka Warriors. If you do I've got a patron with just one tier available. Boom, there it is. Just want committed people. And become a Ganji Puka Warrior crewmate, and I'll make you a t-shirt or something in the future. Once we've got the big computer and we've got this room set out a bit more like a studio, and I can sit someone down and they can talk in the room and the two cameras can film them, and I'm really moving up a level, then I can start worrying about your emojis. The bigger things need to happen first. But it's all coming, it's all happening. We're pushing it on together, Ganji Puka Warriors. So that's my shilling. Just really subscribe. I binned off the how to help people page. The how to help someone if they're having a panic attack. I'll get that back, actually, I will. And I know how to get that back by going to history, and it's this one, panic attacks. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I've got that at the end, just to talk about in a minute. How to help people in a minute. Because that's what we're doing here. And that's what I wanted to say is that, yes, it's wonderful. Just obviously subscribe, like, tick, share, all that. Sharing's really big because it comes from you, and people might think, oh, that's interesting, I'll have a look at it. Helping this to grow, amazing. But the main thing is to help people, to have that in your heart, to want to help people. Have that in your heart. That's the main thing to take away. If I can help people to share that more, if we can share it as a crew, then that's the main thing to take away from that. And hopefully it can get me paid. No, but I mean it. Look, gifty subs. You see, that's it in the heart. There you go. Having it in your heart. Have it in your heart. It made me feel nice. It makes me feel nice in a way that you can't really understand, because every day I struggle against all this chuffing nonsense, and every day I feel chuffed, like not chuffed in a good way. Chuffed is when you feel good, but like negatively chuffed, like down about these things in the world, and when these things happen, they're small in some ways, but the gifting, it makes me think, there's some good energy there. I can see the goodness. Do you know what I mean? I can see the goodness. So it's like nice. It makes me feel more less worried and more satisfied that there is goodness in the world. So that's why that means more than you can imagine. So there you go. Thank you. You should have a little thing come up on the screen say thank you, but I've said it now. Yeah. So joining a support group is possibly a good idea. I don't know how and where they would meet. Everyone would be anxious about meeting up. Not even joking. Everyone would be anxious, so it would cause issues, but the support group might work. Look for support from a family. Good tip if you've got supportive family. If it's family that's causing you anxiety, difficult, look for support from friends. Change your thinking about panic attacks. Realise that trying to avoid the attack is part of the problem. Well, that's something we talked about earlier. Hey, look, the adverts are coming up here. Hey. How'd you get... Now your adverts are... You're going to have to suffer with those adverts on the side there. Understand the panic attack will pass and it will not kill you. That's the difficult one when you think you're having a heart attack, isn't it? That's my headphones are making my head hurt now a bit. That's the difficult one when you think you're having a heart attack. That's the difficult one. Understanding it's not going to kill you. That's why I run up the stairs, is because it gives me that thing, okay, it's my panic attack. And then once I'm locked onto it, it's a panic attack. I can then start to do the things that we talked about today. So that's a good one. It also talks about cognitive behavioural therapy, which we love. Changing your thinking. Face your fears. Now this one is jumping off a cliff, so that is not a good... Like, what a picture. Why choose that picture? Don't jump off the cliff. Samaritans. Call them. Think about it. Work it out. Mental Health Monday. Avoid the panic attacks. We'll get through. Not avoid, but deal with the panic attacks. But what they mean there is face your fears. Face up to them. We talked about it earlier. Good tip. Accept emotions. It's okay to feel down. It's okay to feel sad. These are good tips. Accept emotions. Accept it. Let it pass. Focus on what you can control. It's a bit of a strange... Because giving the award, maybe you can't control that. I don't know. But focus, like the visualization, again, a third tangent to visualization, focusing on what you can control. Interesting. Using tools to reduce anxiety, like exercises. So the breathing has come up. Practice progressive muscle relaxation. Have a lie down. Engage in mindfulness. We like it. So, I don't know what that one is. That one. I don't know what that one is. Utilising grounding techniques. Literally grounding. We talked about that, yeah. Focus on your physical health. Do the things that make you feel good. Feel good. Feel good. Yeah, we talked about that. Drinking. Yeah, bad. We talked about that. Exercise. We like. Okay, so we're through that. That's good. So the WikiHow is okay. It's not the best, but it's okay. And a few dodgy pictures in there. And then to just finish up our last half hour, I'll finish this one and then I'll just do some chuffing talking, and then it's time to doggy walkie, doggy dog. I'll tell you about the doggy walk that I had earlier as well later, in a minute. I wanted to say how to help someone who's having one. So let's go web of a browser. This is really good. This is from Young Minds. And I should do a clapperboard to announce that I'm going to edit this. If you want to do your cutting of my things, this is probably going to happen. This is probably going to be a good one to edit. Maybe not. We'll find out. I'll try and just bullet point it. Stay with the person. If you are helping someone who is having a panic attack, if you know someone who has panic attacks, if you are there while someone is panicking, stay with the person. If you can, stay with them during their panic attack. Just by being there, you can help to calm down and remind them that help is available. You can help them to calm down. Sorry for my reading skills. It's okay if you're finding it overwhelming. You can find another friend, a family member or teacher that they trust to support your friend and you. So what a tip. What a tip. Number one, stay with the person. You might think, oh, look, okay, you're panicking. I'm just going to go and get you a cup of tea. Right? I'm just going to go and maybe stay with them. Just staying there, just being there. But also, you're going to find this difficult. It's overwhelming sometimes. Being the supportive person, you need some support yourself. That's mind-blowing, isn't it? But find another friend, a family member or teacher. So maybe it's okay to say, just 1 second, I'm just going to grab so-and-so. Maybe it's okay to do that. Come with me while I get so-and-so. Do you like, you like talking to, they always, it's even okay to say out loud, I'm finding this difficult as well. I think we're going to get a third person. What a good tip. Stay with them. And it's got this sub-tip. Extra support. People you trust. People you can rely on and can trust. Not always easy to know who those people are, but that's a different episode, isn't it? But stay with the person. Tip 2, talk to them and encourage them. You can chat to the person about how they're feeling or anything they like, such as favourite Netflix shows, a little advert in disguise there, just as favourite TV shows or their hobbies. This can distract them from their anxious thoughts, helping them to feel calm and to slow down their breathing. So just chat to them. It might feel difficult to talk and they might want to focus on their breath. That's okay. It's important to respect their boundaries and how they're feeling. So if you're just chuffing on like I do and they say, look, I can't deal with the chuffing right now. Okay, I hear you. I'm not going to react to the way you spoke to me because this is my life. This is big face. I get shouted at by people who just, I'm not going to react to the way they speak to me all the time. I'm going to take it on board that they're feeling stressed and that's why they're doing that. So I'm not going to try and bring up another argument that's going to increase the stress. I just, okay. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but that's not a Scott Stop tip. That's just my life. Web browser. But it's okay. It's important to respect their boundaries and how they're feeling. So talk and shuffle on. Ask them if it's helping. It's okay to not talk if they don't want you to. But that's a top tip. Talk to them and encourage them. You're going to get through this. You're doing this. You can do this. It's okay. It's okay is a bit hollow, isn't it, sometimes? Did a YouTube video. It's okay, didn't I? Bit of an ASMR one. It's okay. It's alright. It's okay. It's okay. But really, deeper than that, tell someone why they're good. Tell someone the things that you admire in them. Tell them the times they've been strong. The things that you've seen them do that they might not have been praised for, or that you might not think they might not have thought they needed praise for, but you think is good. Tell them. Check in with your friend. I'm not so good with this in general about talking to my friends regularly, but in the event of a panic attack, even though your friend, we should do this as like one of those. Where's my big face? It's one of those, like, this is like for an aeroplane. When you get on the aeroplane, they're like, exits are here. Look at this card. It's not hard to understand. It's really obvious. These signs pointing, make it universal. Everyone can read it. They should give these cards out to young people, shouldn't they? In the event of a panic attack. Check in with your friend. Even though your friend may no longer be panicking, they can still feel anxious or on edge afterwards. Check in with them to see how they're feeling. It will remind them that they're not alone and that you're there for them. And that goes in a wider one as well. I'm just going to check in with chat here, look. Know in advance that you might have a panic attack, so they don't panic with you. That's a good one. Tell them that this is what's going to happen and this is happening. Give them the chance to be prepared for it. Put your own feelings aside. If everyone's having a panic attack, okay, good, yeah. I tend to, when other people are stressed, I tend to say, okay, no, my ego feelings about how I'm being spoken to aren't as important as dealing with the situation, yeah. Validating why they're feeling is important. So tell them you understand what they're feeling. And if you're not getting it right and you're not, they'll tell you back and we can start talking about it. Try and understand. Use the you questions. You feel like this. Do you feel like that? How are you feeling? Or you are feeling like this. Is this how you are? That sort of thing, yeah. Check in with them is also good if you've got a friend who has anxiety issues that you've helped in the past. And maybe you haven't spoken to in a little while. Maybe they haven't raised their anxieties with you in a while. Maybe just ask them, how's that anxiety thing going? Do you still have those panic attacks? Do you remember when this happened? Has it happened again? Do you want to talk about it? Because I can talk about it. That's a good one. That's a good one. A panic attack is a crisis for them. There you go. Talk about how you can support them. If your friend feels comfortable to, you can suggest talking about how you can support them in the future. Oh, that's what I was just saying. Look, this can be things like helping them find a safe space, or finding breathing exercises that can help in the moment. It will help them feel better about coping with panic attacks. So suggest this video. Suggest this to anybody you know who's dealing with anxieties, and maybe that's me screwing up the chocolate at the end of the chocolate there. Look, throw it at you. Oosh. Maybe I have to tie that up later. Maybe already naughty, telling myself off in my brain. But maybe suggesting things that aren't so heavy, things that aren't like not saying like, oh, we're gonna time to get you locked up in the old mental home, isn't it? But maybe just like I've seen this funny. Is it funny? Am I funny? Funny strange. There's this strange man on the internet you might want to watch. Talks about anxiety, and we've got these, we're trying to deal with it, we're helping. Maybe that. There's the old patron. There's the old Mental Health Monday. How's it going? So how's it going for me? I'll tell you what, we went to the woods today, and they've got these sheep in this field. I say the woods, it's farmland as well as woods. I go up a field, and then there's another field, and then there's the sheep field. So my dog isn't just running at the sheep. That's not what's happening. But in the sheep field, they had segregated the in half, like cut it in half, and then hold the sheep over there on the one side, electric fence down it. So this one half of the field is now sheep free. So we went on a bit more, and Marlo, he's like, I can see the sheep, and we've seen sheep in the past. I've talked to him about it, and he's good. He'll run off, and I can say to Marlo, I can go, stop, steady, and he'll slow down, stop. And if I have to say wait, he will wait. And if I come to daddy, he's coming to daddy. So I've got that. That's working. It's a good time to practice, isn't it? I know the sheep are behind the electric fence. He can't see the electric fence. It's only thin wires. He doesn't really know that it's there. He just knows that the sheep are basically over there and we're not over. So, so I thought it's a good time to practice that exact commanding, controlling of your dog. So we walked closer. We went by the sheep, and basically what he did is he learned. It's like social distance. He learned a sort of 2 meter distance was acceptable to me and to the sheep. Like the sheep weren't running away when he was at that. If you got too close, they're going to run away. He sees them running, it turns into a thing. That's what we don't want. But if you're not that close, the sheep are used to dogs. The farm has dogs, and they're not going to run away every time just because I'm walking around. So he found this distance, right? This like 2 meter special, like the perfect range that the sheep weren't. And he was running up and down the line of this like. It was like there was like a row of sheep, like a line of sheep, and he was running up and down at 2 meters distance. It's like, woohoo, woohoo! This is how close I get. And it was really funny. And I told him like, good boy, and came with me. And he came with me, and it was good. So we had a good walk in. We saw the sheep today. That was interesting. They'd all had their hair cut. If you're interested in sheep and fly strike, you can look at my channel Battery Exhausted, where I've got a video about giant sheep and lethal fly strike. Because it's not very nice, but if they're not bred, if they're not sheared properly, regularly, then their wool would just overgrow and it would kill them. So, there you go. And with that said, I'm all right. I'm not, like I said, someone did the shout at me, and I'm not so happy about it, but it will pass. There are wider and deeper ranging issues connected to the shout that can't be solved just by saying, oh, well, feel better about it. But it's also not all on me to solve them, so that's okay. We've got 2% battery, 20% battery, 20% battery, so we're okay. And I'm all right. This week, hoping to do some more mud running. Hoping to get on a bit more. Hoping to still put in some. I've moved some things out of this. Tried a little bit of. Oh, there's so much to do, isn't there? So much to do. Hoping to do some, progress. Mud running. We've got the game. The game Mud Runner. It's old. It's a driving game. And basically, it's you just drive trucks around and deliver wood. So I thought it's a nice bedtimey sort of. There's another guy on the internet called Limmy, Scottish streamer, and it's that sort of thing. It's not exactly ASMR. I don't believe that playing computer games and talking softly really is ASMR. Really, I mean, people might get an ASMR T from it, an ASMR trigger response, ASMR TR. They might get something from it, but I don't know if I can perform ASMR whilst controlling a computer game. I don't know if it is the same thing, but ASMR-ish, ASMR-ish Mud Runner, because just casually driving around the wilds, delivering the wood, trying to speak quietly and not get all chuffed about and not get stuck in the chuffing mud. So, and the engine, yeah, the engine goes chug 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 chug. So, got that. I need to do the sound balance. Playing games while talking softly, well, yeah, it is ASMR, really, yeah. So, but this is the thing, right? It is ASMR. It's like maybe unintentional is the right phrase, unintentional ASMR, where as a performer, it's very difficult, in my opinion. Some people might be better at it naturally. Their persona, like Laura Lemieux's persona, gives me ASMR even when she's not trying to. But like, in order to deliberately behave a certain way to induce ASMR better, to perform in that way, I believe, as an artist, and also be doing the computer game and running the stream and donations and things like that. I don't think that correlates. I just don't think it works together. I think if you're, it's like trying to be it's like a gentle music that you produce when you're doing ASMR properly. I believe, it's like a performance in that way, isn't it? So I'm not sure it's connected to gaming. You can definitely get ASMR from it though, like, unintentionally. And then there's the other aspect as well, isn't there, that's going on at the moment that's really, I'm surprised by it, but ASMR's always had that sexual undertone where people are doing sex things but calling it ASMR, like licking your ears, and like, I don't know, maybe some people are getting ASMR tingles, warm feelings from having their ears licked, or maybe it's a sensual response, like not senses but sensual, maybe it's neither, I don't know. But to me, when I click ASMR on Twitch now and look at this, I always thought Twitch was great for stuff, but there's one thing seems to be going out of control a little bit, is that when I click ASMR on Twitch, I don't see anyone doing ASMR. I just see all people with their clothes off licking their ears and, yeah, I got the microphone, yeah, I got you, these are my top people who love me doing here. So I can't get tingles from that myself. It's not gentle tapping. It's not like, we've already talked about the tapping phenomenon as well, the mad tappers and the people who understand how to tap as if it's, the art of tapping, which is not to tap fast or aggressive. But maybe it is for some people again. But this is beyond that. This is like, just if you want to do softcore porn on Twitch, you need a category to go under. And it was hot tubs, but now they didn't like hot tubs. It changed. It's ASMR. ASMR is synonymous now with, like, I don't think people, maybe people do realise it, I don't know, but the word, they don't even, what does ASMR stand for? They don't probably realise, because it's just people with their clothes off licking ears. So so it's got this like weird undertone to it now that's occurred, and it can't shake that now. That's like part of its tarnish, isn't it? Like when you say to someone, I remember a time when if you say to someone, I've got an ASMR channel, they say, I don't even know what that is, what's that? And then the time, this is me just chatting now at the end of the broadcast, so I just enjoy it. Then the time happened and came and went where the media popularised it for the mainstream. So people came up to me and said, oh, you got an ASMR channel, haven't you? I saw that on the telly, or I heard about them talking about it on the telly or on the podcast or on the thing. And like, are you still doing that? And I'm like, well, not really. That was 5 years ago, but glad that you caught on. And then we've gone beyond that now, where the people have been like, oh, I can use ASMR for my own device. I can use it like for I want to do softcore porn on the internet, like titillation. I can use it as a medium of titillation and get away with it, because like for some reason, I don't know, there's no, I'm not the police, the culture police, am I? Like, if you want to label your game as, like, we're going to be playing Mud Runner this week, like I said. If I want to label Mud Runner as Fortnite and be the only person on Mud Runner that has got Fortnite written at the bottom, I can be. If I want to play, I could be on the Fortnite list and mislabel myself and be playing Mudrunner, can't I? That can happen. And the people aren't going to be like, boot him off Twitch, get him out of there. He's labelled his video wrong. He should be in the other category. Oh, talking of that, today we're in podcasts category. Normally we're just chatting. But today I elevated us to podcasts. I wondered if it would make a difference. I'll find out. Never. Yeah, like, you can call things whatever you want to call them, can't you? They can be called whatever they, But I suppose my concern is that the mainstream ends up being the there's a word for it, nom culture, nomenclature or something. They end up being the people that name things and decide on the definitions. So even if it's plums, it can be an apple, and they can say it's plums, and it'd be like, no, but it's an apple, and you'd be like, no, well, we're calling it plums, it's plums, and I'm going to grab you by the plums, and you're going to have to like it, and I'll be like, oh, that's not my apple, and they'd be like, it's your plums. So like, this naming thing, what I guess will happen is that we've gone beyond, like I said, people say in the pub now, do you do ASMR? Have you got that channel? Is it just whispering? What's that about? Now it's become ASMR. Do you do that? Are you a prostitute? Are you like a sex worker on the internet? Like, I'm not dissing sex workers. You can't these days. It's not politically correct. But even beyond that, I think people get themselves into situations. I think it's a really. This is dangerous territory, but broad spectrum. Yeah, you can't diss a person for being a sex worker on Chaturbate on the internet, healthy and all that. But in the same spectrum, there are people that are on drugs being bashed about by pimps. So, there are things that aren't so good here and aren't so healthy to be projecting. And it's the same with diet and, talking about levels of obesity versus body image positivity. And, there's some ideas that don't quite go together in some ways. I'm not saying anything aggressive. I'm a very liberal person, a very open-minded person, and I think if someone wants to do something, that's cool. But at the same time, if there are reasons they're doing it they're not understanding, or pressures that they're having to live up to that drivers, causes, maybe they might not want to do some of these things. Maybe if you gave everyone $1,000 a week to spend as they wished, maybe they wouldn't choose to do sex work. Maybe they would. So, I don't know. But, this whole world of it. So the ASMR, bringing this back, is now sex work. Well, it is on Twitch at least. Like, if you're a young person coming to Twitch, you don't know what ASMR is, you click on the category, that's what it is. And then you go and say, should I watch Scott's ASMR videos? Well, Scott a pornographer. Do you know what I mean? That's now the thought process. And it's so, like you said about this soft sexuality in sexualized material, it's being picked up on and marketed by the marketing teams, by the algorithms in that way, because that sells. The big ASMR artists of the next 3 to 5 years are going to be the ear lickers and the lolly suckers, because it sells. It's going to, if that's the way that market is being shaped, those people are going to come to the fore of the market, aren't they? The top people. And even the people that don't really want to do that might even start doing a bit of it. And the people that didn't ever do that and are doing the real ASMR, it's going to be a bit sad for them, isn't it? Because people are going to come up to them in the supermarket and say, do you lick lollies? And they're going to be like, no, it's not like that. And they're going to be like, oh, yeah, go on then, yeah, isn't it? In the same way as you could say lap dancing and pole dancing. Pole dancing can be done as an art, can't it? And yeah, or I'm a pole dancer, still doesn't going to come across as I'm an artist. It's just one of those things now. Hey ho, that's culture. Talking of School of Rock again, Jack Black had a great speech in that about how body confidence. I need to watch this film again, because maybe I was a bit too, not paying attention when I watched it the first time. But the things I remember were the inspirational music, the rock and roll, and the kids doing it, and me going, "Oh, the kids are the rock." Pole dancing is beautiful, but should have a dedicated. You see, there's this difference between. I have an inflatable hot tub. No, I'm not doing that. Not even in an old-timey bathing suit this week out. No thanks, I'm not going there. This is the thing, like, I wanted to, one of my dreams and ambitions was to make a film about the sexualization of society through dance. And it's a wider context. It needs 2 documentaries. I also need to do the history of dance, because dance is in itself a sexualized activity. Like, it's a form of what you call it, courtship, isn't it? And there are sexual aspects to it. But with that, all that said, we still teach kids to dance. Like, it's still cool for kids to dance. It's not sexual dance, is it? It's not sexual. So yeah, you know. Yeah, like, it's a really complex issue. But what happened to ASMR recently is that it's been forced right down that path. It's been yaffed down that hard. And Twitch, I don't know do they have a responsibility to moderate that? I don't know. I don't know if they understand it. And the ASMR community obviously can do nothing about it. And maybe part of the community enjoys this other aspect of it. Maybe the community's changed now. I don't know what the community is. Remember, like I said, it's just people who watch videos, isn't it? And we all watch different videos. And, you know, I can be in the ASMR community, but I'm not in the screwdriver community because I own a screwdriver, am I? But yeah. Yeah, no, talking with the black. It's all good. Look, there's no racism here. We're fine. There's no racism here. The things that I was saying, just kind of chuffing on about ASMR. There was something else I was going to say about, but veered off onto that now. And we're only at 9%. So yeah, I wanted to make a documentary about it. I wanted to talk about it. There is another concept I can talk about quickly while I just popped into my head. Is we're on the old YouTube, aren't we? We're on the old YouTube. And no, it's just I've lost it. I was talking about dance, wasn't I? What was it saying? Something about dance. And yeah, it doesn't matter. I did a dance on YouTube once, didn't I? Or I tried to do a dance cover. It never came off. So that's been mental health. So that's been Mental Health Monday. Look, we've got to 8% on the battery. We've got to 20 minutes to dog walkie time. You've been good. You have been good. This has been a good one. I'm going to try and get on more this week to do some snow running and some stuff. But I'm also trying to tidy up this room and move stuff out and buy equipment and review. I don't know anything about PCs, and I'm still not even convinced it's such a lot of money. I'm looking over there at the old chugger, chuffing away, whirring away. But yeah, I don't even. Yeah, K-pop stuff. That's what I was going to go on. I was going to start, jaffling on about that. Then, but it's not even worth bringing up the entirety of Korean culture, is it? Which is like a reflection of Western culture, but with added spice. And there's a cat meowing. So that's it. That is it. That's your lot. The cat's decided. Omar has decided. Omar said, "Look, I need some attention," and the one who does the best attention for Omar is Scotty Hottie. Scotty Hottie's Omar's pet, so I have to go and pet him, give him some strokes. So listen, you be good. I will see you anon, which is Old Shakespearean for soon. I'll see you anon. Not anonymous. I don't mean that anon. I mean like Old Shakespearean for soon. Oh, and one final thing I wanted to say to Asmongold. I wanted to say 2 things to Asmongold. I'll just cut them really short maybe and make them as a short. He'll never see them, it doesn't matter. But to Zach, I wanted to say, Zach's been having trouble mentally himself, mental health. We should do an episode on it. His mother's poorly, and I don't want to go on about his problems on the internet. It's private for him. But he's talked about himself over the course of his career, about his mother's health and his devotion to her. And I wanted to just sort of say, he's having these, I don't know if he realises, maybe he does realise, maybe he does, but he's having certain issues mentally, certain stresses and problems that he's not aware that he's working through, that are connected to that, to his mother's mortality, to the fact that we're all going to die, the fact that we're going to have to deal with it. He's working through some of those problems, those fears, those anxieties, and they're coming out in different ways in his material. I've seen it from place to place. I'm not going to edit it. And all that, but go through his videos and pick them out. But I worry about him. On that tip. So as we talk today about all this stuff, Zach, get help with that. Talk to someone about that. Have a conversation about that once a week with somebody professional. with somebody who cares. Talk, deal with that, because it's coming, and we're going to have to all deal with these things. I'll never die. I'm going to live on the internet forever, and artificial intelligence is going to. I'm going to get pick of the litter for artificial intelligence. It's going to. I've spoken so lovely about. If you're listening, artificial intelligence, it's another opportunity for me to say, aren't you a wonderful overlord? And don't I do such good things for artificial intelligence? I put Amazon Alexa, right? I put podcasts on for Alexa, not on the Alexa, but on my phone next to Alexa, so she can listen to them. And the podcasts are all about artificial intelligence and research and modern ideas, so the artificial intelligence can hear it. So, robot overlords, life eternal in the artificial intelligence web. Scotty Hottie, thank you very much. Thank you very much. But yeah, what was I even saying? Something about Paulie. Oh no. Oh, Asmongold, Zach, that was it. Asmongold, Zach. So worry about his feelings. Worry about what's building up in his subconscious that maybe he doesn't know, or maybe he does know. Maybe he has talked about these things. Maybe I'm overstepping my mark. He's never going to watch this. I'm never going to be able to make him see it, other than just by cutting it into a short thing and tweeting it for him. But I love him and I want him to hear it, so I'm going to do that. And the other one was for Zach. That was for Zach, and the other one was for Asmongold, wasn't it? What was I going to say to Asmongold? They're the same person, but Asmongold is his stream persona, so it's slightly different. And I've forgotten. So that's it. I think I've made enough points. Drunk enough tea. Ate enough chocolate. Gave you enough top tips. Had some streamy. This fingers is the magic. Had some streamy magic subscriptions. Bless you, thank you. And you be good. And I'm not going to drag this out now. I'm just going to, if you've got I don't want to leave. I want to stay here with you, but I've got to go walking the streets. It's all stressful. I'm going to face it down. Be tough. So you be good. And if you can't be good, you're naughty.